Hello, how are you guys doing? This is Ranjit, and in this video, we'll be doing the review for the Samsung Galaxy C7 Pro. And this is sort of a upper end mid-range Android phone by Samsung, and I have been testing this for almost 2 weeks now. I've already posted an unboxing video and its gaming review earlier. Links for those videos will be there in the YouTube show notes, and I'll divide this review between the pros and cons, what I liked about this device and what I didn't like about this device. But before that, here is a quick specs overview of the Samsung Galaxy C7 Pro. As you can see, it's powered by the Snapdragon 626 chipset, and it comes with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, and it has a 5.7-inch 1080p screen, and other specs are here on the screen. So let's divide this review between the pros and cons, what I liked about this device and what are the things that I did not like about this device. The first thing that I liked is that it's having that 5.7-inch screen, and it's a Super AMOLED screen, and it's a good quality Super AMOLED screen. Even in outdoor lighting conditions, I did not have any problems if you keep it on auto brightness. And next thing is coming to sensors. This one has almost all the important sensors that you would expect. Obviously, it has the auto brightness sensor, and it even has the gyroscope and NFC. I'll talk about NFC later on. Samsung did a stupid thing. I'll talk about that in the cons. But in terms of the regular sensors, it has all the regular sensors that you expect. Now, moving to the general performance, it's powered by the Snapdragon 626 chipset. It's not very different from the Snapdragon 625. It's very similar to that. This is also a quad-core processor. And in terms of day-to-day operations, it handled the phone fine without any issues. And it has 4GB of RAM, which is a good thing. And as you can see, I have tons and tons of apps running. And then also the phone does not have any problem while multitasking. And the RAM management has been done good. And it's having the new Samsung UI that they have put. And I did not notice any stutteriness or lagginess while I was using this device. So in terms of RAM management and general usage, I did not have any issues with this device. Next thing is that this phone actually has dual speaker support. The main speaker is here at the bottom, but the earpiece can also act like a speaker. Yes, it's not as loud as the bottom speaker, so it's not a true stereo experience, but nevertheless, the dual speaker option is there. But if you don't like the dual speaker option, from the settings, you can actually disable it. So the speaker functionality from the earpiece gets disabled. But I like that this one has that dual speaker functionality. Now, moving to the fingerprint scanner, it has a fingerprint scanner on the home button like most other Samsung smartphones, and this one is actually an active one, so you can just place your finger on it and it unlocks, as you can see. And this one actually works pretty well, unlike many other Samsung phones which I've reviewed earlier that didn't have a great fingerprint scanner. But on this one, as you can see, the fingerprint scanner is actually very good. So no issues regarding the fingerprint scanner on this one. Also, as you can see, this one has that always on display option, and during my testing, I always kept it on this always on display, and it works very well, and it does not drain the battery that much because this is having a AMOLED screen. So I like that functionality, and it works. Now, moving to the battery, it has a 3300 milliamp hour battery, which is sealed inside. And in terms of battery life, again, I was satisfied with the battery life I was getting on this one. With my average usage, not very heavy, I was easily getting about 1.5 days of battery life. And with sort of casual usage, I could stretch it up to about 2 days. So if you're sort of a heavy user also, it should last easily for a typical working day. So in terms of battery life, no issues. Now, moving to the cellular call quality, I tested this one with Airtel 4G SIM and also with the Reliance Jio, and yes, it does support VoLTE. And in terms of cellular call quality, I did not have any issues with this device. The cellular call quality was nice, and even I took some calls via the speakerphone, and they were very clear. Also, I like the fact that the microphone pickup is actually very good on this one. For example, in the later part of the video, I'll show you a sample that I recorded upstairs in my garden. It was very windy. Then also it picked up the sound very well. Now, in terms of many people ask me about this, and in terms of general usage and even with sort of heavy usage, this handset did not exhibit any overheating issues. Yes, the back gets slightly warm because it's a metallic back, but no issues of overheating. Even with heavy gaming, after gaming heavily, it barely touched about 39 degrees Celsius. And next, coming to the gaming. In general, the gaming performance was actually very good in terms of mid-range games, and even some very heavy games it ran fine, as you can see from the samples. Again, I have already posted the dedicated gaming review, so if you want to know more, you can check out that. But with some very heavy games, particularly with Asphalt 8 at the highest graphics setting, I did notice some lagginess. So that is one thing that I have noticed. Now moving to some of the other things that I did not like with this phone, that is the cons. And this might not affect everyone, but if you are a person who listens to a lot of music via the headphone jack, I simply did not like the audio output from the headphone jack. I tested it with a variety of headphones and the sound output was very flat and sort of lifeless. But to give credit to Samsung, they do provide you software options where you can adjust the bass, tone settings and all those things. I did play with it a lot, so that improved the sound output a little bit. But again, still I would say if you're very particular about the music output from the headphone jack, I simply did not like this device. Next thing that I did not like this, and I would say this is cheap stuff that Samsung has done. This device has NFC support, but Samsung has not enabled the Samsung Pay option on this phone, because the Samsung Pay option they have enabled on their higher end series, A series. So they have skipped the Samsung Pay option on this device. Now coming to the camera, this is one place where I was slightly disappointed with this device. Considering it's a Samsung device, generally Samsung devices have very good camera performance. Yes, in outdoor lighting conditions where the lighting is very good, as you can see from the sample shots, the camera performed brilliantly, the pictures were sharp and they had a lot of detail. But when we move to artificial lighting conditions and in low lighting conditions, the camera performance was simply not that good. In fact, the camera performance was horrible considering it's a Samsung device. Generally, many of the Samsung devices in this price range do perform a lot better in the camera performance. So particularly if you take a lot of pictures in artificial lighting and low lighting conditions, then the camera performance was simply not that great. It was both the same for the rear facing camera as well as the front facing camera. Now moving to video, the video performance was good. I really liked the audio pickup, though it was very windy where I shot this clip. Here is a sample of the video clip that I shot with this device. And it's an overcast sky. We'll check the focusing. How good is the focusing first? So this is a nearby object. If I move further down, as you can see, in terms of video focusing, it's very good. You don't even have to use the tab to focus. It's doing a good job. Sometimes, yeah, as you can see, I bring it inside. And now let's do the walk test, because this does not have any optical image stabilization. Let's see how it behaves. I'm just walking normally. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the rear facing camera. Just testing out the front facing camera of this Samsung Galaxy C7 Pro. As you can see here, outdoor conditions. Let me move to this area. So as you can see, let me just go here, how it handles abrupt exposure. I'm not also very sure how is the audio pickup. So this should give you an idea about the video recording with the front facing camera of this Galaxy C7 Pro. So what do I feel about this? I would say this is an ideal smartphone if you're particularly very obsessed about getting a Samsung mid-range phone. It was priced at around 29,000 when it was launched, but now the price has been reduced to 26,000 and sold in India via Amazon. So certainly you are going to pay a premium for the Samsung branding, and overall it's a nice phone if you're sort of a generic user. But again, if you are a person for whom camera is a very high priority, then you might not like this device. So guys, that's it for now for this review. I hope you found this review helpful, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.